Career coaching drifts toward consulting more than any other coaching discipline. Three structural forces converge in every engagement to make the drift feel natural, even correct, at the exact moment it happens. The market mislabels career consulting as coaching. Clients arrive in genuine pain and want relief, and coaches carry real expertise that the situation seems to call for. The drift is predictable, which means it can be interrupted. A client comes in for their second session. They were laid off 6 weeks ago. Last week, you did real work together, surfacing the identity questions underneath the job search. This week, they open with, "I've been updating my LinkedIn summary. Can you take a look and tell me what you think?" You lean in to read it. Right there, the coaching ended. That moment, the coach leaning in to read the LinkedIn summary, is where career coaching most often loses its contract. Not in a dramatic confrontation, in a quiet accommodation that feels helpful. Career coaching drifts toward consulting more than any other coaching discipline because three forces combine in every career engagement. The market mislabels career consulting as career coaching, so clients arrive expecting advice. The client wish compounds this. Transition is frightening, and of course, someone navigating it wants the coach to have answers. And then there's the coach wish. Coaches are skilled, knowledgeable people, and being asked for expertise is a pull that almost everyone feels. None of these is a character flaw. All three are always live in a career engagement. A coach has spent 20 minutes in a previous session with a client, hearing about the loss, the disorientation, the uncertainty. The coach held that well. The following week, the client comes in. "I have two offers. Can you help me think through which one to take?" The client's posture is clear. She wants the coach to say which offer to accept. The coach, who is smart and has seen a lot of career situations, has opinions. The three forces are all live at once. What happens next is the whole module. The coach with the most experience in the room doesn't feel the pull more because they're weaker. They feel it more because their expertise is real and the client's need is real. What makes the structural framing matter in practice? A coach who reads drift as a personal failure does two things badly. They either avoid the pull entirely, becoming rigid, distancing, unhelpful in the moments that most require presence, or they overcorrect and drift further, then feel worse about it. Neither is the practice response. The practice response only becomes possible when the force is named correctly. Consider a coach who works primarily with executives. He has spent years developing an accurate read on search positioning, firm quality, offer structure. When a client pushes for that read, and most clients eventually do, sharing it isn't weakness. The pull is calibrated to something real. What the expertise doesn't change is the mechanism. Once the coach has delivered an opinion, the client's frame shifts. They're no longer working. They're waiting for the next opinion. And the coach, having delivered one, is now in a different relationship with the client's question. Recovery from that shift mid-engagement is possible, but rarely clean. Structural forces don't eliminate choice. They narrow the window in which the choice happens. The verbal cue is the edge of that window. A client says, "Can you take a look at my resume?" And there's a moment, usually less than a second, when the coach can recognize what's being opened and choose a response. The four drift categories exist because that moment happens faster when the coach doesn't have a name for what they're hearing. Name the drift type first. Then the cue lands as information rather than as an impulse to follow. Name one recent client conversation where the drift happened. Not a hypothetical, an actual session. What was the verbal cue that opened it? Write one sentence. You'll return to this in the engagement beat at the end of Unit 1.1. The point isn't to judge what happened in that session. The point is to find the cue so you can recognize it the next time it arrives.